Alright, Sprinter. Today we talk delegation. We will talk delegation principles, but also delegation tactics, and I will share my template. Because delegation is so important. If you don't delegate, very soon the limit of the 24 hours will be the limit of your business. And I'm not talking about your health if you work too much, which is also a limited resource. I'm talking about the limit that you become to your business. And delegation is something that I'm working with since 17 years across the globe with all levels of leadership, and there is a need for more precision, and that's why I will share my template with you. Let's dive into it. So delegation is about identifying what to delegate. The tool we use is the Time Finder, because in the Time Finder tool you find out what takes energy from you and what can other people do better. And this is your identified next thing to either automate or systemize delegate. Then you delegate. Okay, whom can I empower via delegation? Who has shown ownership and responsibility and that humbleness and that hunger that makes them the perfect person to get on more responsibility and really to make a career inside of your organization, your team. Then systemize. How to make the task easy. For that we use the playbook, one place where all your processes are. And then execute, the daily template to use when you delegate something that I learned actually from my assistant in St. Gallen, who was amazing. Natasha told me many times that I'm not delegating well, and she told me how to delegate. I will share that template. So what's broken delegation? And I see this happening every day. You are overwhelmed and you know you need to delegate, and now you try to delegate the task, but it is not done right the first time. It is not done right the second time. You get in a hurry, the client is waiting. It's maybe weekend, you don't trust that it will be delivered. So you jump in back yourself and say, okay, I'm gonna do it quickly. I'm fast, I'm good, I'm gonna do it quickly. Can happen. If this happens, then create a video so it doesn't happen a second time. But that's the broken delegation. Let's go to a proper delegation. You do it and you create a system while you do it. So while you do it, you do a video. For example, a Loom video like this, whatever screencast video, or you write it down and you hand over the working system. So it's a full system, because the opposite would be you hand over the task without the system. And that's why it breaks. So first you do the task, then you create the system. For example, 5 sentences is a system. And then you hand over the whole working system, not the task, you hand over the whole system, which is the SOP, the standard operating procedure, and the DOD, the definition of done. So now you have empowered somebody. Because in the other thing, you have just overwhelmed somebody. Now you have empowered somebody. They have a working structure and they can rock. Now they do it and they report. At the beginning, you will have a daily report. First week of a new colleague, you will have a daily report. 10 minutes quickly checking in. Do you need anything? How did it go? When you feel okay, they are doing it well. Now, usually it's after a couple of weeks or months, then you go into a weekly report. When they do that well, you go into a monthly report. And later, very, very individual, very situative. They might not even report anymore. You can fully trust. You don't need any report anymore. And now they own the full area, purpose, goals, metrics, etc. The full area, not just the task. This is a proper delegation. What is a full area? For example, they own marketing, or they own sales, or they own just a part. For example, the LinkedIn part of marketing. But then everything LinkedIn is theirs. Okay? That's a full area. Delegation principles. Preparation ahead instead of rushing when you are reactive later. So in January, you know that there will be a September. You don't have to rush in August because, it's September. You can plan these things ahead. Think strategically. Clear handoff, full end-to-end ownership. I learned this when I went with my kids to their first swimming course. So they had this swimming course and the swim trainers. Of course, they couldn't swim. So parents were quite excited and worried. And so some of us parents, we just went away. We said, okay, this is my kid. Congrats, enjoy it. And then we went swimming. We did our own swimming in our lane and we're just not even looking. Some other parents, they were worried, so they stayed very near to the course. And you can imagine what happened. The kids where the parents were just swimming, they were relaxed because it was a clear handoff. And the kids who had their parents in eyesight near them, of course, they did all kinds of dramas because they wanted the attention and of their parents. And so clear handoff instead of a hybrid. Really clear, don't touch it anymore. And then you come on time and reliably after the course. So full end-to-end ownership. Third thing, close the loop, confirm understanding. Just because you said, okay, we are gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't mean that they heard it, doesn't mean that they understood it, doesn't mean that they did it. So you have to close all 3 loops. Make sure that this loop is closed, this loop is closed, this loop is closed. It can be just asking, can you please repeat? So I can check if I was clear. When will we report this? And do you need anything to optimize your system? Include the SOP and the link in the project management space. So just not say, hey, please do it on LinkedIn. You hand over the system, and in the system there is a link to the project manager space where people can check off stuff when it's done. They found the checklist, they found the resources. And then the accountability loop, the completion loop. Do not allow that things are done 80% or even 95%. 100% is completion. Everything below is not completion. And one of the problems is this delay is stuck. So many people, most people, they go to 95% and then they wait for the confirmation of something or somebody to take responsibility for the last 5%. What happens there is that from day to day, from meeting to meeting, you have more and more time delays. So it's a good culture, good habit to complete things to 100% and not stop at 99%. Because then it's close. Now you can hand it over. You can still get feedback and ask if it's good or if something can be improved, because something can always be improved, but you bring it to 100 first. And now this is the delegation template. Let's say you hire your first virtual assistant or part-time contractors or part-time employees, and now you give them a task. If you give them a task, say who is the owner of that task, a summary, and the summary explains how you will see that it's done and why it matters. So why is this important in the first place? How does it fit overall what you're doing? And then the output. What will be the tangible output that will tell us that this is done 100%? How can we see that it's at 100%? And then the explanation how this task works and where the process is. The estimated time, this is important. For example, last time we had a process and I was asking, why does it take 6 hours? And then my colleague said, yeah, because we have to listen to every video. And I was like, oh no, look, you don't have to listen to every video. Just go to that part and take that from the timestamp. And we're, we can do that. That's smart. And that is because I didn't say the time estimation. So if you say the time estimation 20 minutes, we would have had that conversation immediately. So you see, it's on your side when you delegate something to be clear, and this checklist is to help you that. So that I learned from my colleagues. And the other one, the due date, is also very important. This is what I learned from Natasha, my assistant in St. Gallen, because she would push back some tasks that I would give her usually via email. So I would get an email back and it would say, Simon, the delegation is not completed. There is no due date. How should I know when to prioritize tasks if I don't have due dates? So give me a due date and then the delegation is completed. And she was absolutely right, and she helped me see the due dates that are important. And then also one thing very important, the link to the project management space or to the playbook wherever you have your tasks. We usually do the task delivery in the project management space and then we check it off. And the task documentation, this is how we do this process. We do that in the playbook. Okay, hope that helps. Delegation template, and keep rolling.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.